My life is good, I write was hood, I might get to it, not out the woods, so bro, I got to do it, be a monster, that's why my mantra.
Welcome to 3 Count Commentaries. This is your host, MagMongoSlade. I am obligated to talk about Velveteen Dream one more time. So we got to talk about Velveteen Dream's response to the accusations against him and what this means. Now, before we get into the meat of what he was saying, I want to be honest. It doesn't matter what he says. His career is over. Okay? And I'm not going to be one of those people who are out here trying to fight and scratch and claw because you can't fight the mob. Unless you're fucking John Wick, right? You can't fight the mob. You have to be like Rambo to fight the mob. It's over. It does not matter unless he has actual physical evidence that proves that he didn't do anything. It doesn't matter what's in this letter. I've already read it. Doesn't matter what's in this letter. Okay? And it's unfortunate because what he's saying doesn't make sense. But let's get into it. So Velveteen Dream says the allegations from April 20th, 2020 have effectively derailed any upward momentum I had professionally and has ultimately resulted in my termination with WWE. My name is Patrick Clark, not the Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is a character that I have spent years developing and trying to bring to life. The success of the Dream character relied heavily on kayfabe, my ability to blur Patrick Clark from Tough Enough with this over-the-top personality. The character was conceptualized the day Prince died, April 21st, 2016. I knew nothing about him at the time, but my thinking was that I could use my interpretation of Prince to create an on-screen personality vastly different from who I am as a person. Cue Velveteen Dream, a sexually ambiguous, gender-fluid, self-absorbed Devo. And as I learned more about Prince, I began to tame certain aspects of the character. Aspects that I deemed way too over-the-top and inconsistent with who Prince was as a performer. Now, before I unpack, I will say I've enjoyed the many stories I've been able to share on camera, and I'm grateful to the many people who trusted me with their safety and wellness. Thank you to any and everyone who enjoyed and allowed me to be my character, whether you paid a ticket or walked up on me in Walmart. My goal was to provide you with the same escape that I was offered when I first started watching. My job was to play a character and to help advance storylines and drama for the fans who cared to tune in. I take any job that I have seriously, which is why I've remained silent about these allegations. To me, addressing rumors would be working against an already compromised ability to sell a character I've invested in so heavily. After I had been accused, I was given the opportunity to be in a storyline that lasted a few months, and I worked in a few segments unrelated to the story arc. But now, I feel comfortable in this position to share with you the details of my accusations. The night of April 20th, from my verified Instagram account, I posted a story to my followers letting them know that my DMs had been open. I received a few different messages ranging from support to heckling, and some inquiring about how to get started in pro wrestling. I responded to a few, but not all, and of the few I responded to, one account accused me of solicitation. The account belonged to a 17-year-old aspiring wrestler named Jacob. Before he deleted it, in the conversation, Jacob shared his interest in working as a wrestler one day and asked what steps would be required. I messaged a short list of things he would consider if he was serious. Physique and promo to start. Physique, because as an independent contractor, no one is going to make you train and eat in the way that creates the aesthetic of a believable pro wrestler. And promo, because our job is to sell drama. And you can't rely on someone flipping channels to stop and watch a choreographed fight. You're more likely to grab their attention looking into a camera with a strong and passionate 30-second monologue. I also inquired about which schools he was closest to in relation to wrestling training, his weight, and his height. Jacob explained how anxious he felt messaging me and asked me to verify that it was really me. I find it strange because I have a blue check, but as a lifelong fan, I remember meet and greets and the days I would message wrestlers hoping to be seen. So I chalked it up to innocence and sent the voice message in my Velveteen Dream voice. As to keep kayfabe, the full voice message has me asking Jacob about his height, weight, and where he trained, and it was school he attended, which Jacob answered back with a voice message, and I continued to answer his questions until I politely wrapped up the conversation. On April 21st, I woke up to notifications and tags of created screenshots and videos of a conversation that I didn't have with Jacob. I immediately contacted WWE's talent relations and social media departments as to begin an investigation. Even after the investigation, WWE released a statement maintaining my innocence. The part that hurt me was having a personal picture that I've used in my personal life on apps being used to label me as a predator. I am in no way of the word a predator. This is the first and only time I've been accused of any solicitation to anyone, until I was accused of grooming with Josh Fuller. Unlike Jacob, I know Josh. I met Josh after my stint in Tough Enough 2015 at a meet and greet, and we developed a friendship through a mutual trainer at GXW. Josh shared to Twitter screenshots of the first time we communicated through text, 2016, an autographed picture from when we met, and an extremely contradictory story. Josh alleged that I made him feel uncomfortable, but contradicts himself twice by saying I was never sexual towards him. For those willing to research Josh's tweets accusing me, Josh's messages are in blue and mine in gray. Josh claimed that he was a 16-year-old high school graduate and that he takes, quote, yearly trips with his friends to Orlando, Florida. I deleted what he told me, yet I kept my replies diplomatic and professional. The reality of the situation is that I was very helpful and respectful to Josh. Josh lives with his grandparents in rural southern Maryland. Josh got a concussion in 2017 and, against my advice, insisted on wrestling. My worry came from Josh severely injuring himself, specifically his brain. I suggested that he take time off from training to see a doctor. He declined because he believed he could work through the concussion. And I cut all communication with him in 2018 because I didn't want to be partially responsible, and he worsened his injury. Had he worsened his injury. So to have him accuse me of predatory behavior because I chose not to help was spiteful. Jacob and Josh are two of many people that I've helped, yet these are the only two who have found me to be malicious and predatory in how I go about helping others. What wasn't shared at the time? Quote, Josh Fuller reached out to Jacob over social media before Josh put out his own accusation. When this came out, Josh temporarily deleted his Twitter account at Josh Fuller PW, which is important because in all the social media confusion, Josh Fuller is the only one who suggested that an investigation had not been done and that he had not been contacted. Jacob deleted his social media after he was outed for being a member of an anti-black group chat. There is a public forum, WWE LPSG Stars, where people are buying, selling, and sharing explicit stories and videos of multiple wrestlers, and no one has done anything to have this site taken down. All in all, this experience defamed my character and ultimately accomplished what it sought out to do, and that was to see me released. My hope is that over time, people can put two and two together and realize that all the allegations surrounding me were baseless and untrue from the jump. I felt strongly about not needing to defend myself on social media for a while now, but I understand the audience I work for and those who know me deserve clarity. I'm thankful for the opportunities afforded to me and the memories I have as a receipt. God has always had me, and he always will. Dream is officially over, but Patrick Clark lives to fight another day. All right, so this is his statement. And it was very difficult. Obviously, we went through on this channel before about the accusations against Velveteen Dream. And it was very difficult to parse through which of these two people were accusing him of what and where they were getting their information from and how you can verify this stuff, right? Because you had basically these two accounts that were sharing information, right? Now, we read Josh Fuller's account of what took place with Velveteen Dream, in which I noted that he said in the statement twice that there was nothing sexual between the two of them. But people, of course, ignored it. And people like apparently just didn't fucking read the document, right? I read the document. Furthermore, Velveteen Dream is 25. Okay, in 2016 he would have been 20, and therefore Josh Fuller would have been 16 or 17. Even if they were sexual towards each other, nobody would go to jail for that. Okay, that falls well within the what's those silly laws called, the Romeo and Juliet laws, where if you're a girl and you're 17 and your boyfriend's 20, he won't go to prison because you two could have gone to school together or whatever. But they initially met in 2015, which means the Velveteen Dream probably would have been like 18 or 19, and Josh Fuller would have been 15 or 16. But nothing sexual happened. So how could he be grooming and or a pedophile if nothing sexual happened? Then, so you have all of that stuff. And of course, we already know about the anti-black group chat when that account disappeared, when that stuff did come out. So when people were deleting their accounts and doing all this kind of stuff, it was very hard to keep track of what was going on. Okay. And it didn't matter anyway. Because people were, once there was blood in the water, because of everybody else that was being attacked, just like the Matt Riddle thing where people never read the documents, they just taken, what the woman says as true, where, we went through the documents for Matt Riddle too. I read them. That's why it's important for you to read the documents. The accusations didn't make any sense. These accusations, while they made some sense, considering these two accounts apparently were working together, we don't know what's true and what's not. So it's very hard for, and it's unfortunate. This sucks for him, but he's probably not going to get a job anywhere else. His career is over and he's 25. Okay? His career is over and he's 25. Think about that. What the fuck is he going to do? Who knows? It's a tough thing. It's a real tough thing here. But again, I've been through the whole Velveteen Dream stuff, trying to keep track of who these people are, and people are posting screenshots where there's obviously comments missing, and they're posting pictures. Of course, no proof of where these pictures came from, or how this person came into contact with these pictures or whatever. Who knows? That's the problem with trying to say things happen online. But it seems like he was fired for being a dickhead in general, not necessarily over this. Of course, it's hard to tell the difference because this is the most dominant story floating over his head. We don't know any stories about him being a dickhead. Like, that hasn't come out yet. But at least now he's got to air his grievances. He's got to come out and say what he had to say. And it is what it is. So does this change anybody's mind? There's obviously going to be people who say it doesn't matter. I was personally on a tip like the cops didn't come and get him. He didn't touch anybody. It was very ambiguous. It was very vague. A lot of these comments were vague. And it seems silly to me, So I don't know, but let me know what you guys think. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for your time. I'll talk to you guys later, and peace out.